Hello, everybody. I am Ren Chao Du. I am here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So excited to be here. We arrived yesterday and I had a beautiful day yesterday. Look at this morning. This like Amazon forest in the middle of the metropolis city. And I'm just so excited to be first time in Brazil and getting the energy from the people, from the land. Is so exciting. And we're in this beautiful studio. And we were thinking, what can we do today? Supposed to be a day off, but I thought that it would be a very good idea to have this experience with you live from Brazil. And so just the opportunity for us to kind of chat, for us to talk about some topics that I think it can be very helpful in this particular time in ballet education. So why is this particular time? Because everybody's auditioning. The audition season is truly coming up in a couple weeks. All the big schools, perhaps some of them are starting already, to have summer intensive auditions. And this is a huge rotational movement where students participate classes intensive in other people's school, in other city, perhaps even in different countries. So it poses a fantastic opportunity for all of us, including schools and teachers and students and families. And always a bigger question is, where should I go? As some of you know, that I have two daughters. Both are looking for summer intensives. So this is the conversation we have at home. When they ask me, ask me and my wife, where should she go? Where should we go? This is the conversation between me and my wife, who is also a ballet teacher. Also troubles us. We don't know, right? We don't know. But oftentimes we ask for a few questions to my own children, and I want to share with you some of the key points that you need to look for when you participating and put yourself in the audition mood, selecting schools. So first of all, the most important part is you need to ask yourself, what would you like to be accomplished? Right, end goal for this summer intensive, because it's long. Sometimes it can be 5 and 6 weeks long. Sometimes it can be 3. And you have all the choices out there. So the main question is, instead of searching for schools and try to see what they want, the most important part is what you need, what you want to get out of it, this summer intensive situation. And because there's a lot of time, a lot of resources involved. So it's a very, this topic needs to be thoughtful, needs to take the time and truly think about it. So here are a couple things that I need you to think about, those options for yourself. One is technical improvement. So you said that I'd like to improve my technique this summer, overall technique. I wanted to learn the choreography better. I wanted to take the class better. I wanted to learn the combination. I wanted to learn the technical engagement. I want to learn from different style, different teacher, different school. So overall improvement of your technique. Right? So that's number one. If you said, I'm a Russian trained dancer, but I like to know a little bit more about balancing style, which is a really versatile, trained students must know, and maybe we should look for a balancing-based school, so where you can get more of dynamic training to strengthen yourself as a dancer. Or you say, to be even more specific, I like to improve my jumps, improve my turns. So those you need to look a little deeper, because that lays in the faculty members within those programs. So this is where the social media, this is where the website, this is all the information, virtual information at your fingertips. Do your research to see which teacher is actually out there teaching phenomenal things to improve turns, improve flexibility, and improve jumps. Because each teacher, they all have their strengths and weaknesses. Let's focus on their strength. If this teacher is always talk about the jumps and demonstrate so beautifully, and the class looks like it's improving, the strength is improving jumps. Guess what? This is the school, this is the program you need to take a look. It might be suitable to you. So it needs to be really deeper into the details to see what this school can help you to accomplish your goals. The other is competition preparation. Guess what? What season right after summer? It's a fall. Fall is the beginning of the competition season. So instead of in September try to figure out which variation to learn, which variation to coach, to participate in fall, winter, and early spring competitions, summer is truly your time. Summer is the time you don't have the academic responsibilities from your public schools. You can just hone in on choosing a variation or two and start working on your contemporaries. So this is also opportunity for us to see, to participate with the school, the competition strong. They are not necessarily competition schools, but this school often do well at YGP, do well in other ballet competitions, and they know how to prepare students to coaching their variations and prepare them mentally and physically for competitions. So I think both of them is goal-oriented, right? Very specific goal-oriented approach to summer intensives. So third is actually a pretty big thing, is career preparations. Let's say you're a senior student. You wanted to pursue your career as a professional dancer. So then you say, why summer intensives is important in this scope of work? Because summer intensives is for you to be seen by whom? By the faculty members. Because oftentimes, the faculty member are the company members. And oftentimes they invite the company directors to set a piece. Oftentimes the ballet master, ballet mistress, guess what? They are the guest faculty members of the intensive. So this is your golden opportunity to know these people, whether you want to work with them, because it's all about chemistry. Sometimes I hear students coming back from summer intensives like, you know what? I found this teacher. Just clicked. Not necessarily something that they said your teacher haven't said before. It's just energy-wise. You feel there's a special connection toward that particular teacher who very well to be a ballet master, ballet mistress of that company, associated to the school. So this is one step forward to get you inside of that organization, know how it works, and get the connection with the teachers, with the directors, with the choreographers. And actually, it's your chance to show them who you are as a artist and present yourself in the way that they can visualize to work with in the fall. So you have to keep that in mind if this is the route you want to go, you want to choose. Let's say I want to go to a particular company, name whatever the company that might be, and take a look at their summer intensive. Because for example, Washington Ballet, my daughter went to Washington Ballet, they call it Repertory Week. This is after 5th week, 5 weeks of intensive. She participated in Repertory Week. And she had a phenomenal experience. After that, she's interested to be a trainee in that company. Because in that Repertory Week, they did the artist director Edward Leon's piece. And he was personally involved setting and teaching them in the piece. And that particular week gave the students an opportunity to get the taste of what the company life is like. I thought that was really, really well done. So those are the things, basically, they're interviewing you, also you interview them. And otherwise, if we don't think of those things, otherwise 5, 6 weeks can go by just like this. And I actually see the answers coming back from summer intensives out of shape. So we wanted to do all we can to avoid that. In order to avoid that, we need a goal. Okay, then we have fourth one, which is also important, is life experience. Said, you know, I've never left home before. So I wanted to go to a college program. and I wanted to step into my adulthood. But I never left home before. And summer intensive, leaving home somewhat, you're still in the care of the school, you're still in the care of the dormitory, but you're away from your home, right? There's this opportunity to offer you to think independently, to make a decision on your own, whether it's good or bad, that you need to find out. And there's a sense of accountability when you're living somewhat on your own. So this could be a very beautiful transitional step for you to move on into your adult life, into your independent professional life. So, because sometimes summer intensive takes us to another city, right? So you have to live on your own, not necessarily, but live with other people. So you found out about yourself, how you are away from home, right? This could be also very valid reason, the life experience that you can also take advantage of. Now, I'm going to offer you a few things to consider, okay? A few things to consider. It's the length of the program. Now, the newest thing these days is actually if you program yourself, schedule yourself right, you can actually participate 2 programs. That's why DoCon is always scheduled in August. Why? Because August is the month where we worked beautifully in July. We get ourselves in shape. Guess what happened in August? Only takes 2 weeks for you to be out of shape, truly. Takes 2 weeks for you to be on the phone, Netflix, sit on the beach, which is fine. You need a downtime. But right before you go back to school, if you're a serious student, right before you go back to school, you cannot go back to school out of shape. That's why DoCon always schedule, all program is always scheduled in August. So it's get you a kickstart, get yourself not only in shape, but go back to school in a perfect shape, and you improve technically. So make sure that you don't put all your energy in the beginning of the summer, then let the August go, then all the stuff that you did earlier, it didn't work, right? So you have to space yourself out. I actually prefer to, recommendation is to have a family vacation in early August. At the end of July, when you finish your first intensive, could be a 3 weeks thing, right? Then you have a family vacation, go, have fun. Don't do anything ballet, don't even stretch. Have fun, let yourself go, right? You need that. You need a family time, you need a downtime. And don't even think about anything else. Then before you go back to school in September, get yourself a beautiful program and get yourself ready, mind and body, right? The other is living arrangement. How far away from home should you need? That all depends on your age. I do not recommend for young students to be right away from home for a long program. So my recommendation, actually pretty specific, is driving distance within 5 hours. So that is a mentally very acceptable distance between your family as a parent and your children to be away. So somehow, for us to feel, if I jump in the car, drive 5 hours, I can be wherever I need to be. And I think this is something for you to consider. The distance between you and your child, and the length of the program, and living arrangement. Now, keep the details. Summer dormitory offer everything, which is great, very convenient, very safe. All of the program out there, I know of very, very responsible in terms of children's safety and welfare. Very responsible, United States, all the schools that I know of. But there's some schools doesn't offer meals, doesn't offer food. So that could be a bit of a challenge for how do you arrange it. That's always a question for the parents, how their children get fed. And that's a realistic question. I think school offers such a program needs to be detailed, explain how that arrangement is gonna happen for children, because that's a very realistic question. Where do I get breakfast? Where do I get lunch and dinner and snacks? Those are the things that we needed, details but important, can have effect on your entire training experience. So this is something that I think it's very important for you to think about. Next, in relation to that, I wanted to talk about audition. So every summer intensive needs audition, including ours. I need either you come to Zoom class with me or submit a videotape. But most auditions happen in person. Now, in that 90-minute class, what can we do? I talk about this all the time in my career preparation class. It's to the absolute details that we need to think about. The parents, you have to think about your children as like a job interview. Okay, truly it is. So I would like to get into details with you about what is the details about what is a successful audition looks like and what we needed to do to prepare ourselves for it, okay? So first, dress perfectly. What does that mean? Perfectly. When I say perfectly, I don't just mean fashionable. It's not about fashion. First of all, you need to see the dress code. So every school said, I need a black leotard, pink tights. Whatever they want, you need to follow the dress code very correctly, because you do not want to be the one single dancer. When everybody is in black, you're the one in red. You don't want that, because that shows unorganized, it shows the attitude, it shows you did not pay attention to the details. That's not the type of attention that you need. So dress perfectly and not a new not a new outfit. So don't just buy a new leotard and I'm gonna wear it you have never worn before. It needs to be something that you have worn before. You know it's gonna fit you comfortable and perfectly. For example, if I go to Porter-Brow Forward, when I come back, as a teacher, I just don't really like students start fixing their thing. They're just fixing. Don't. Those extra movement is gonna distract you. So when you Porter-Brow Forward, come back, this leotard should fit your body perfectly. You should feel comfortable. You should have no hesitation to do Porter-Brow Forward and back and come back to see leotards fits on your body perfectly. Okay, that is something that you need to test the leotard if it's new, or just go to a pair you feel absolutely confident that it's gonna be there for you. When I was a dancer, I always have a go-to pair of t-shirt, shorts that I just love, because you can buy three t-shirts, exactly same size. You bought at the same time, but somehow this one t-shirt fits you perfect. I can't explain to you. Maybe it's a psychological thing. But go to that leotard, always bring you the success. Okay, so that's just truly my recommendation. Comfort is the number one concern, and also hair. Your hair, your makeup, your shoes, it's all a part of your overall look, your energy, represent your energy. So I always appreciate students with the beautiful, perfect hair and the shoes clean, not sloppy, everything ready, because it tells me something about that student. It's nothing specific, but it's that put together look. It happens before the audition even happens, because that impression, that first impression is absolutely important. Now, talk about when the class starts. Learn the combination very well, please. Pay attention to the combinations and do exactly what teacher tell you to do. So if you're gonna change, I don't recommend changing combination at all. When they want you to do a single period, even if you can do 5, do single, because there's a purpose behind it, right? Also, teacher needs to know that your ability to follow what? Directions, right? So if somehow you're gonna do 3, 4 period, you feel so on, please do it musically. Do it within the music. Do it musically, okay? So don't finish a turn just because you want to do 2 more, and when music is over. It's just not a good thing to do in the audition. And important, when teachers talk, always look at them. Always look at the teachers. Even they look at you, great. If they don't even, when they look at someone else, you always look at the teachers. 2 things you should never do. talk, chatting with other students. Okay, so if you go in there as a school, maybe like 3-4 students from your school to go to the audition together, I strongly recommend don't be a clump. Don't be together as your friends. You spend enough time with your friends already. You take class with them every single day. That class, you don't need it to be together. Separately, and don't have this kind of talk, this kind of chat that we know from your face, from your body language, that have nothing to do what is going on in the audition class. So that is a no-no. Pay attention to the teachers. Look straight to teachers' eyes when they talk, number one. Number two, when teachers demonstrating, teaching the combinations, there's one posture I'm gonna show you, never happen, okay? Like this, I show you, like this. You see me? You see me? Just look at a teacher like this, or like this. When teacher giving combination, this posture right here, no. No, never, never. You should always do this, connecting with the teachers. Do it, mark with them. Look at them and mark with them diligently. Mark with them, learn. And have the facial, have the eyes connection, visual connection with them. When they ask a question, you don't even need to say, I got it. You do this with your eyes, get it, got it. I can always find one of those students. It can be, she or he can be in a corner, 50 feet from me. I can feel her or his energy right there, looking at me. Wherever I say something, the student is like this. That's the student I want. And oftentimes, this kind of student does well in audition just because they pay attention, right? There's no way you can learn the combination standing up like this. No way. You can't learn visually like this. So this is something I also want to talk to the teachers about this. In your school, you have to teach your students not to have this kind of habits. Because sometimes it's not even students' fault, because that's what they do in your own school and they never get a correction. Right? So I always insist, when I demonstrate, I want my students to demonstrating with me. So even if their mind not with the combination, not truly get it, at least their body have the experience of moving the combination with you. And again, after everything else, it shows a learning attitude, shows a sense of engagement, shows a sense of focus that is terribly needed in ballet classes. So as a teacher, you need to teach your students literally how to take class. It's not that complicated. Look at the teachers and mark the combination when they teach. So also, we talk about not to talk, okay? We got it. Not to talk to each other, not to talk about some things, have nothing to do with the class. The other thing I'm going to say this, could be controversial, but the reality is, don't ask any questions. Don't do it. I know I'm going to get negative feedback from saying this, but I'm telling you from a ballet teacher point of view, don't ask any questions. Figure it out. Pay attention. If you truly don't know this combination, don't go to the first group. Go to the second group. Don't ask any, especially the question that you know that maybe perhaps teacher made a mistake. Teacher showed the second time, perhaps, a little bit different from first time. Don't ever be the hero, okay? Please, don't ever be the hero, tell the teacher they did wrong. Don't do it. Don't ever ask for teacher to repeat something, ask them to explain something. Just don't do it. Okay, so I'm here from São Paulo, Brazil, give you this truly valuable life lesson. Don't try to stand out that way. Yeah, it could be harsh, but you know, I wanted to give you something tangible you can learn in life. Okay, figure out yourself, pay attention, learn it in the first place, and to be stealth and to be excellent. Okay, so that said, what is your professional posture in classroom? Number one, simple, always step forward. Always step forward. So you learn the combination perfectly, then don't ever be apologetic for you to be good, for you to be knowing the combination when others are confused about, for you to be ready for this combination when other people are not. Don't ever be apologetic or be sorry about the willingness to come forward, stay in center. That's a posture in life. Okay, so this is something that you need to prepare yourself. First of all, you cannot go to downstage center without knowing the combination. So when you learn the combination, you have to ask yourself, I'm going to learn it so well, I'm going to go to the first group in the center when I want to be the leader of the classroom. Hard to do, but with proper preparation, and that strength, that ability is not going to come when you want it. When you go to this 50 people audition, it's just come to your lap. It's not. It happens where, everyone? Your daily practice. Every day in your technique class, this is the attitude, the strength that you have to have installed to yourself. So when the time comes, you're not nervous, you're confident because you've been there every day. That's how you take class every single day. And is it because I needed to be rude, I needed to push everyone off when I come to the center? No, it is not like that. It is your presence. It's your focus. In class, it's between you and the teacher. This is how, and truly, if anybody knows me out there, this is how I took class my many years in company. That's how I took class. It's me and the teacher. I want my teacher's attention all to me. I'm sorry, this is the kind of a business that we are in, okay? Don't be rude, don't be aggressive, don't be anything impolite, but don't ever be apologetic to be excellent, okay? So this is spacing management. That's another beautiful thing, okay? Spatial management that you have, just to be aware of when the times needs to step forward, you need to step forward. When teacher tell you to step back, you step back. So this is all the focus level you have with every single word come out of teacher's mouth. When they tell you something, just do it. You don't need it to be okay with everyone around you. I always say in classroom, you look forward. You always look forward. See your reflection from the mirror. Don't look back. And the one step, one movement you should never do is this. I'm going to show you. Is this. You tell people to move forward. You be the teacher's help to make sure everybody forward, you stay back. Why? What's the point of that? You stay forward with the pride and confidence, okay? So don't let other people go to those beautiful places and you stay back. It's not necessary. Last thing I want to say, actually two more things. One is don't worry about if you messed up something. Don't worry about if the turns, it did not go as well or as perfect as you had wished. Move on, move forward. Yeah, don't ever make notice of that you didn't do anything perfect. Don't ever try to be, want the teacher notice that you could do very well, but you messed it up. Move forward. So this is a part of class. Remember, the teachers, when they teach a class, they don't expect you perform this perfectly. They don't. What they want to see is the potential, and they want to see your training. A part of training is move on from a mistake. That's a part of training. If you think there's a mistake, first of all, falling out of turn, it's not a mistake, it happens. So how do you recover? How do you move on? How do you just never really make a scene out of your mistake? It's a part of training. I always appreciate students do that because that shows the maturity. Okay, so don't ever try to get people's attention when you did something not as perfect. It's not necessary. Just move on. Last thing, perfect etiquette. So etiquette is not a thing in the past. It's not. So it's a beautiful thing. I always appreciate teach students to acknowledging me, even in the hallway, in the classroom. When I give a correction, they have a sense of acknowledgement. And even after class, I always appreciate that when the students come to say a simple thank to me. And I even appreciate somebody introduce themselves to me. My name is so-and-so. I'm come from which school. It was really nice taking class for you. And even if you see the teachers are not as busy, you say, do you have any recommendation for me? What should I work on? Just that question you have to see if the teacher is not busy. So present yourself very, very nicely with a beautiful trained etiquette. Always serve people well. So all these things we needed to organize ourselves and mentally and physically prepare ourselves for it. And this is your path to a successful audition. Not only get accepted, but to get a scholarship. Okay, so a non-scholarship and scholarship student, the difference is very vague. It's very vague. And I want to tell you the truth, it always lays in those details that I just talked about. It is not somebody did 10 turns, 5, 6 turns, somebody this and that. It is all these little details set them apart. Okay, so this is my recommendation to you, okay? And now I want to talk about, overnight we have a question coming from Instagram. And to me, one of the questions is this student is moving to a new school and she wants to know what can she do to fit in faster in terms of it's always a challenging situation, uncomfortable situation when you step into another school where your schoolmates perhaps have spent many years there. They have already know their culture of the school, their routine, perhaps their dynamic between the dancers and teachers already know, but you don't, right? So it's always very uncomfortable when you step into a situation like this. But I want to offer you advice. Be patient. So these are a few things that you need to take into consideration. Take the time to get to know everyone. Be patient. Okay, this is just like be friends. There's no possibility of instant friends, instant support you'll get from the community. It takes little time. So you have to allow your posture you have to allow yourself to be open to be received into a new community. And at the same time, be patient. Don't rush into things, expect it to be warmed and to be best friends right away. It takes little time. It's okay. Just step back to be observant, right? To listen, and you'll learn a lot if you just watch and learn. And find a friend. Find a friend. Perhaps a person you felt very chemistry-wise connect to you better, and start with a small conversation. This is just life skill. It's okay. Have a simple conversation to start, and find that kind of support. Find that kind of community. This kind of almost like a mentorship, and also mentorship from home teachers, most important. Okay, so trusting your teachers. And your new teacher might say something different from what you already know. Don't contradict them, okay? So that's your new teacher now. Just trust them and support your teacher and just do the best, be the best student, be a learner. Then it's okay to give feedback from every now and then. It's always, teachers would never get impatient or offended if you say to your teacher after class, say, well, can you give me some feedback to see if what I needed to work on? I'm new to the school. And this is a very, very good thing to do with the new school, with the new teachers of yours. And your teacher would appreciate, I'm sure they will give you very helpful advice and feedback. And I think homework is necessary. If your training is a bit different from what this existing school style, every school is different. I always say every school has their own DNA, has their own, it's like home. Every home even smells differently. So school is like that too. If there's something in training that yours and theirs is a bit different in order to catch up, and I think homework is important. Yeah, so have a planned homework. Perhaps ask your teacher to provide you with the homework. Maybe sometimes when you enter another level, is a little bit different. If the level is higher than what you had before, don't worry. Ask your teacher for support and do your homework to gain the strength and the knowledge and ability. And again, allow the time for people to warm up to you, right? So friendship does not develop overnight. So allow the time, open yourself to the community, and just be observant, watch and learn and listen. Okay, so it's okay. It's not a problem. So now, the exciting part is coming because we're in Brazil. Guess who is literally the most popular, the star of the internet? We have Miss Fernanda is with us. Miss Fernanda and I actually virtually worked together for quite a few times, right?
Yes.
So we worked each other because she teaches in my RDBC online classes and students love her. And you know that she's one of the very strong force on social media, providing really, really valuable content. I'm talking about valuable, no other things that she'll tell you what's right, what's wrong. I often watch those and I try to confirm that what I say is in line with what she said. Beautiful teacher, beautiful training, and is loved by hundreds of thousands of people out there. So I am so happy that we finally met yesterday. We know each other virtually for years. So we finally met yesterday. I'm so happy to have her here with us because the next couple of things, and I think that Ms. Fernandez is going to help us to help answer those questions. Yeah? So one is turned out. So every 3 questions we get, one of them is turned out. The other one is period. So turned out is right? You said, I always think that plie and turned out is 2 building block foundation of ballet technique for it to properly develop. Just because all technique is based on rotation out. I mean, that is just the fact. That's like something, those beautiful trees right here. They need a specific soil. They need a specific condition to grow this beautifully, right? If I put this tree in Washington, D.C., I don't think it's going to grow like this, right? It's just a fact in life. So all the ballet technique is develop on top of turning out. So this student wanted us to help her how to be turned out. It's a simple question. It's also a complicated question, as we know very well. And in Ms. Fernandez's social media content, she talked so much about turned out, how turning out is embedded in every little things. Recently, one of the things that you did was Tondu coming back, this situation, verse coming into 5th. And I thought it was so beautiful, the way she described, the way she explained the differences. Guess what that is? Turned out. Right? So we have to have rotational muscle to do what we just did. So there's 2 elements I think, in rotation in turned out. One is just flexibility. One is just the range of your hip motion, range motion. The other, I even think is more important, is the strength, is the muscular support of our rotational. Because oftentimes I see students, if you put them on the ground, they're perfectly turned out.
But they
can't hold it. So can you explain to us how can they hold their turned out while they are flexible? But when they're standing up, what can they do to keep their rotation?
At first, I'm glad to be here today. Thank you so much.
No, pleasure.
And about rotation, about turnout, I think at first we need to do this on the floor. I think it's the best way to learn everything from ballet. So when we are down we can think just about legs, because sometimes we think about rotation, but we rotate the hip and the body, everything, shoulders together. So when we are at the floor, we can think more about just legs. So I think bar floor, barra terra is how I used to say. It's good to improve rotation. And then I said that we need to think about legs, not hip. So hip is when it's back, we need to think about hip. But front and side, we cannot. We need to think more about leg. We cannot move. If we move or try to do this, look, my supporting leg. How can I turn like this? I can't, right? So that's, oh, thank you, Mr. Du. Thank you. So I think if you have a good square and you hold it, you can think just about leg, not about everything. And use the right muscles to hold it. That is very important.
So, you know, as you pay attention to her hip right here, so my issue is sometimes students are back here but turned in.
Yes, exactly.
This is not useful in ballet. When they come to the center, that's not useful. So this hip has to be down, then create this beautiful rotation. And when she comes to the center, when she comes to the center, this rotation is useful, not just for decoration. Okay, so everything that we do has to have a logical reason behind it. So turned out, it's not fashion, it's not look good, because we see a lot of beautiful pictures on internet. It's not only about that. Rotational support is how we move, how we access energy, right? So everything that we do on the bar here has to be useful to the center. Now I want to share with you the first, Ms. Fernanda talked about on the floor. I remember the first thing when I went to school, like 9 years old, teachers set us on the floor like this, and he just pushing, just very gentle, very gentle. And in this range of the movement, it is important, and it can be trained. So if there's a teacher out there, don't be afraid to apply a little bit gentle pressure on the knee, gentle. Don't be rough, very gentle pressure, because it can be trained that way. I have this habit to this day. If I teach a ballet class, I have to be in this position. I have to be in here just for a minute, just to be a minute, just like this. I don't have to do anything. I'm not doing anything. Just for a minute, just for my muscle to release my turn out like this. I feel more comfortable. I feel more confident, because it doesn't mean that I'm going to show anything perfectly, but I just feel I'm more together, right? So again, it's not a fashion, it's a way we work, right? So we talk about a little bit about flexibility, but can we talk about the rotator support from the back? You want to talk about how important, because I think a lot of students does not know how to use their rotator.
No, exactly. And we need to use both sides.
Both sides.
Yes, sometimes we think just about one leg and the other one is turned in. So it's important to think about both legs, and it's here that starts the rotation.
Yes.
We feel these muscles working.
Yes.
So it's not hip, it's muscles.
It's the thigh
muscles.
and the rotator.
Yes.
Yes.
This is how it starts. And I think it's important to tell about back, arabesque.
Go ahead.
Because back, I said to you, don't move hip. And in Brazil, everyone says this. Don't move hip, don't open hip. And in arabesque, we need to open hip.
Listen up.
This is important.
Thank God. I have a support right here. You have to, this hip lives on this hip. How many times I have to say this? Because if you do this, this hip have no support. Ms. Fernanda, explain to us
and
more
you
adequately.
You cannot lift. You cannot. That's my best. I swear, it's my best. So we need to rotate, of course, rotate.
Open this hip.
Here, and I open.
Yes.
So I can do higher. So We need to open. Of course, it's not a lot. It's not because we are saying that you can open. This will be wrong,
we don't
okay?
open your shoulder. Nobody ever say open the shoulder. You open this hip, square the
It's
hip.
wrong and
Open, open.
not shoulders. Yes.
Yes, yes. So teachers out there, don't teach students, it's unnecessary to do this because when you are doing this, your supporting side rotator it cannot be engaged. This is loose. Exactly. So that are best when you come to center, especially on point, no. It's not possible. You cannot go on point this way. No way. It has to be this way, open. Yeah? So, and I think one exercise I often think it's important is simple. It's just this simple. You know, you can be turned in or turned out simple, just turned in and turned out just to engage, stimulate, and awaken this muscle right here. So that's also, sometimes we do on the floor like this, just like this. Simple, very, very simple combination, but just to engage, to give your body a chance to feel this muscle, the rotator. The only ballet teachers call this area rotators. If you go to, other people don't know what you're talking about. That's precisely why. Rotation from the back. Yeah, so keep that in mind. Also, what I think this is also, pay attention not only just when the leg go out and all those big steps. Pay attention, you're turned out in transitional steps, like a glissa. I see students on stage, glissa literally knee to the front, like this, knee to the front. So this comes from where? Plie not turning out, right? So we have to make sure from that we always go back to the foundational idea, those foundational building blocks, tendus, plie, to have beautiful turned out engagement. So when you do the glissa, you're not gonna be doing this. And when you do glissa not turned out, your bottom not engaged, nothing is gonna come out of it, it's gonna be correct. So pay attention to the connecting steps, small things, articulation of your feet, all a part of turned out, not just the legs and the hips, small places, tendu, heel forward, everything. And that has to be your pay attention throughout the entire class, I think.
And my teacher used to do a lot of class in first position for rotation. So we can feel more when we do first. Because fifth, sometimes we need to think about a lot of things. Yes, so to cross and close. So when it's first, we can think more about the rotation. So passe parterre, it's very important. And everything, first position is low, you can feel your muscles working.
Passe parterre, use the floor to gain the traction. Use the floor to be your friend. Turned out, and the floor is your friend. Plie is your friend. We got very few friends in ballet because it's hard. But floor is one of them, right? We need to feel the floor, give you that traction, friction that you need to push the heel forward. Yeah, and pushing down to bring your toes back. So floor is your friend, and use them. And what do you think about like in jumps? Because I often see students plie right before they jump, they turn it.
Yes, exactly.
It's dangerous. So that have something to do, if a teacher out there, we have to make sure the jumps, the plie in connection to the jumps are slow to start. So for the student to recognize the connection between plie and when they fire the energy, we don't do this. It is when it's too fast. When students don't have time, they don't have the time to engage the muscle and to apply that rotation, to apply that energy into the jump. That's when they do this. That habit, it's a terrible habit, and it takes a long time to get rid of it.
To fix this, I like to do everything slow, face to the bar,
Yes.
in first position, 8 counts, almost 8 counts, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
And
then
5,
6,
6,
7,
7.
8. Very slow. Even if you are advanced, if you're
You
doing
still
this, you need to,
You still have,
fix.
you know, sometimes I teach advanced students, even professional company members. I see they play literally like this short, and with it like this. This come from the training and come from even the company members, you know, your advanced students out there or professional company. Don't ever give up that plie. I see company members like this. You can give up a lot of things, but you cannot give up the plie and your back and turn down. This kind of things that you pay attention to avoid injury as well.
Exactly.
This is when the injury happens. This. You solid plie, use your muscle, you're preventing injury. Okay, so all teaching is a bit different. You know, if you're plie like this, they turn in and asking for the results to be turned out, that's where the injury come from, because it disconnects the training and expectation of what you need to do. So, and Ms. Fernanda, you talk about allosegons a lot. Yes. Now, this student's talking about how to improve. I think she's talking about the height of develop it to the side.
Develop it
Yes.
to the side.
Yes.
I think the first thing, you need to think about alignment. We don't care about leg here if your hip is like this.
Because that have no value in ballet's eye. If her leg is up here, her supporting side is like this. In ballet's eye, it has no value. Has no value. I want to say this to be even more blunt, okay? It's like a watch. It's like a watch. It can be diamonds, can be gold, can be jewelry, all over the place, this watch. But if this watch does not function as a watch, the inside, the chemistry, the inside mechanical works doesn't work. This watch, no matter is made of pure gold or made of diamonds, has no value as a watch. So in ballet's eye, if this allosegon is up here, but your hip is here and your ribs is here, this position has no value in ballet's eye, not just in all eyes. So can you explain that a little bit more about that?
Yes, and to lift, I like to do on the floor too, ground battements. I think it's very good for example here, and I do ground battements, a lot of ground battements. It's good to the side too, of course, back. And you don't need just flexibility, you need to hold
Strength.
it. Yes.
Yes, so it's like the
what you said
turn down,
before,
yes.
exactly. So I think it's a good example. Here, I do my flexibility, and then I need to hold. Mm-hmm. So it's not like this and one.
Yes.
So one, and you try to hold. This is really good. And an exercise that I like it, it's face to the. If I go there, you can see me. Yeah. Just face to the bar. It's good for rotation too because you can feel the muscles. So face to the bar. You do the rotation, think about hip, and do out, and again, and out, and again. This is really good for me. This is how I improved my flexibility.
And you know, she talked about use the bar. You know, nowadays we have a lot of equipment. We have a lot. The elastic rope, the ring, we got everything. But truly, really the best support is a good teacher and the bar right here. Because when I was in school, we didn't have any of that stuff. But we just like you, Ms. Fernanda said, we just stretch like this. We just stretch like this. Guess what? My teacher always told us to do this and lift the leg. And just lift like this and releve. This strength. So when you stretch, your muscle is already developed this visualization of this end product with the support of the bar. Okay? And then she just lift the leg slightly off the bar. So this is just a one step forward to visualize this perfect position. So need the support of the bar for us to do this kind of things. Also, I've seen students nowadays stretch so excessively.
Yes.
They stretch, put the leg over here. They put the leg from the behind over here. And they do all kinds of things. But they're like ropes,
Exactly.
right? So in ballet's eye, we don't need the alasagon leg on that side. From this leg, we don't need it on here. We don't need that type of stretch, like the hip is all out of position. We don't need it because the ballet doesn't ask for those positions. But ballet asks those positions and has a structural value, has alignment of value. So we have to keep it in mind. While we working on flexibility, we have to work on the strength as well.
Exactly. We have a balance between flexibility and strength.
Can you explain from retiré, from here, can you explain this and that situation?
Okay.
So I bet you anything she's going to say the exact same thing that I said. We never rehearsed this. We never rehearsed it.
When we are facing the board that I show you, it's important to feel the right muscles. For example, if I'm there at the bar and I do like this, will be wrong. So that's no value. So you need to, your muscles need to work. You need to feel this. When it's developed, it's the same. These muscles need to work. So retiré. And now I think you don't like it too when you do knee. And then
I do. I don't like
not
stop
step,
it. I
stay,
don't like
yes.
stop. I don't like stop, but I like the process.
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
we need to do, but not.
Yes.
Sometimes I say like this. So from here, we need to think about rotation and lift together. 1 and 2. It's important here, not this and then down.
I said it the other day, right? So can you hold the retiré for me? Now look, for example, look at trajectory of her thigh. So from here, right? She's in retiré. If she does not lift this leg, knee, it's gonna go there, right? So we have to do what academically we call it. We have to change the trajectory of her thigh. So from down to upward.
Up.
Now we develop it, right? So we change. We cannot go out there and start doing this. It's impossible. It's a
Together.
wrong.
Yeah,
you
it's
have to.
wrong.
There's the word of development, develop it, development. So from small up, then you go out. So this hip and your leg strength in the retiré is very important. Can you show us again? So if it's in retiré position, we want to make sure the two hips are completely. This has to be flat, right? As she did lift, this side has to go down in order for the leg to go up, right? We cannot lift our hip. That's never, the leg is never gonna go up.
Exactly.
And where this leg goes, behind the arm. Yeah, my arm also gone here. So her leg is gonna go behind, not in the front. Because when you're in the front, you're putting so much stress on hip flexor. So if I am a la second, my rotator is involved. So my rotator is helping me to do what? Hold the leg. So that's why in the beginning she said not to do this. Because when you do this, you're putting all the pressure on your hips.
And then you feel it.
Then you feel it
hurts,
hurts.
yes.
That's where a lot of hip injury come from, is excessive high legs to the side without proper muscular support.
Yes.
That's a lot of hip injuries coming from. So,
And supporting leg need to be a support.
Yes.
You cannot be out of your leg. So sometimes at the bar, because at the bar we can hold, but on center we cannot. So your weight cannot be in your heel, like out like this. No, you need to be in your toes, in all your foot. So then it's just leg, not out of
Yes.
of your leg.
so, information, we have a lot of information out there available to us. But we still have to, if you look at the internet, if you look at social media, we see a lot of finishing products. We see a lot of beautiful turns, which is fantastic, beautiful jumps and everything else. But what's lacking is teacher like Ms. Fernandez talk about how to get there. This kind of work takes time. This kind of work takes patience. and a lot of investment in thinking, a lot of times to put it into how to create truly educational content to support classical ballet development in a proper way, in a healthy way. So, Ms. Fernanda, can you tell us some of your programs that you can offer to our audience out there?
Okay, I have my course online, and it's exactly about this, about here. It's exactly about this, about how you can think about details and everything and learn from the beginning, because sometimes you start in a school and you have someone that are there for 3 years and it's your first day, and the teacher needs to do a class that you can do and the other student need to do too. So in this process, you don't understand exactly what you need to do. You miss a lot of details and important things. So that's what I do in my program, that I teach from the beginning. So I teach you first position, I teach you how to do a plie, everything, and very slow, like first.
Because oftentimes students doesn't not know why they have to do like that, right? So if you do what you're doing right here, and it's not, by all means, it's not glamorous or anything like that, but it's not about that. It is, we have this part you cannot skip. If you skip this part, you might get away with it short term, but I can guarantee you, at one point in your technical development, you're gonna hit a roadblock. You're gonna hit a dead end. Your foundational structure will not allow you to move forward, especially when we go on point.
Exactly.
So be patient and check out Ms. Fernanda's program online. You deliver them online, right?
Yes.
You meticulously give feedback. So this is something I want people always to pay attention and to respect this kind of teaching. And not a lot of things out there. It can be distracting. Social media can be distracting, but I truly value. And this is really, I saw her teaching online and I said, this is the teacher that I wanted to work with, truly. And so we worked together for many years now, and thank you for all your energy and your steadfast commitment to help develop true ballet technique.
Where can they find her?
Me? It's Fe Hushawai. Can you spell for me? F-E-R?
F-E-F-E.
No, F-E only, one.
Fernanda Rocho.
Yes, and that's it.
.com.br.
So maybe we can type in. We can.
Yes,
yeah.
better.
Yeah. So you have all the information there.
There, yes.
And so we take some questions. If anybody have questions online or live audience, we're here. Take the opportunity. We're here for you.
And Mr. Du, I'd like to say, because sometimes we see that we are not good at in periods,
Yeah.
and we don't know what is wrong.
Okay.
So when we learn from the beginning, we know, okay, how I start is not good. My position, my arms, my head. You know what you need to do.
Do you know how many schools out there teaching period just come to the center, put the kids in fourth position, start turning
and
right
go,
away?
exactly.
Right away.
In the first day.
In the first day, yeah. So let's ask Ms. Fernanda, what are some exercises that you can provide for students to have a structured preparation for turning?
For turns?
Yes.
Yes, for turns, you need to know, you need to have a good demi-point, good balance. You need to know already retiré, so it's not on first day that you will learn this. You have a year at least to understand everything. You need to know arms, and you need to have balance. And then I like to use the preparation for period. So at the bar example, we do together open arms, allongé with plié, and then together everything, one, and try to hold. So that's the foundation of
Pay
period.
attention to the arms. Can you show the arms again?
Everything
The arms.
together.
In the
yes?
beginning, the arms. Watch this arm.
We can do this, so from here, or we can open with plié, and then close together. Up.
In. You see, the energy is not out.
Exactly.
The energy is squeezed, controlled, and accelerate in. Can you show that again? She showed it perfectly. Look. And in.
Because if you don't do this, you will turn with the arms opened. You don't have energy enough.
I always say it's like you pour the bucket of water out. You're never going to come back.
Exactly.
Accelerate in. Yeah, so that's one. And
That's one. It's the most, for me, I always do in my classes is this one to understand. And then at fourth position, everything. And then I like to understand how much energy to turn. I like to do like a quarter, because sometimes it's good here. But when you turn, you lose everything. So I like to do a quarter. So for example, from here, plié and quarter, plié and then half, and then the
fold.
turn.
Yes. Just like learn the baby steps, one thing at a time. We don't teach them for fourth position period, double right away, goes up. That's just not how we do things. So, and can you show us some exercises? You talked about earlier the strength of a demi-point. Can you show us some exercise you can do?
For demi-point?
For demi-point. Because I see students demi-point go up like this.
The alignment is very important,
Yeah.
right? The alignment. So you need your, what's the name of this part of the foot?
It's just metatarsal.
Metatarsal?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the highest point of the arch, the metatarsal.
Metatarsal. So you think about your metatarsal, it goes to the second finger.
Listen,
Toes.
second toes, okay?
Exactly.
I will talk about the first and second toe. Why? Because it aligns with the highest arch, and that's with the strongest, like a mountain tip, it's strongest. You cannot come up, demi-point goes back there because there's no support in the back.
How can you turn
There's
like
no
this?
support in the back.
You can't. So always, it's good the alignment. And again, I like to do everything slow when it's something wrong. So face to the bar, face to the mirror if you have, so you can see if you're doing alone the class. Face, look how is your alignment, and do slow up and down and up and down, very slow. That is important for alignment.
So it's avoid, it goes back. You
Yes.
go up, you think about it, slow speed, it gives your mind a chance to connect with our body, right? If we do fast, so fast, your mind doesn't respond that fast, especially for young students, right? They need the time to understand the connection between the mental insistence, the instruction, and the physical displacement, because there's a delay.
Yes.
That's why she talked about slow to make up the time for the mind instruction to be applied physically.
And we go out, but sometimes I see you doing up and then rotate in.
That's
like in
also
the arch,
dangerous.
And then down. This is not good too. So it's only one line to go up and to go down, because on point you do this, and then on jumps this again.
Yeah.
So always
This
one.
muscle memory needs time to develop. What she just did, she went up and down, assuming that we're going to do the turn out, this muscle memory needs a lot of time to develop before the body can respond. This split second goes up into the right place, right? So it's a muscle memory. So we know the muscle, our mind tells us there's only one place direction to go. That muscle memory needs to be developed before you can introduce the turns.
Exactly.
So this kind of things, that's, I think, a ballet. Sometimes students give up or teachers kind of give up too. And we just kind of skip because this is the most important and difficult stage of training. Because it is boring. It is not glamorous. It is not, compared to other genre of dance, it's not so-called fun. But unfortunately and fortunately, that we have to accomplish these building blocks for the students to have fun in the future, to have so-called freedom of dance in the ballet, supported by ballet technique in the future. So this is an absolutely phenomenal experience. I can't wait. Tomorrow we start Dukon in this beautiful city, this beautiful theater studio right here. And Mr. Ricardo is arriving tonight. So 3 of us is going to have a wonderful time with the international body of students. We'll have students come from Latin American countries. And we just can't wait. We'll have 2 classes of students downstairs, and adults is going to have this beautiful room to themselves. So we're going to learn some pieces. I'm going to teach adults a section from Swan Lake. Yes, yes. And teach a beautiful waltz from Swan Lake. And I'm sure Mr. Ricardo is going to be the star of the program, which is he always has, deliver absolute phenomenal knowledge, and his energy is just infectious. Can't wait, yeah? So tomorrow, if you want to join, we still have room, right? We still have room. If you want to join, it's not too late. Well, okay, quickly, if you want to join, quickly, okay? So, and we're looking forward to see all the students tomorrow and have a phenomenal experience here in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Thank you so much, everyone. Everyone back home, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.